Downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. What a beautiful skyline and what a beautiful day. It's gonna be a good one. Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. One could say that. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's the Daily Woo. Today's subject matter will be completely and all about this gentleman, a man I respect with all my heart, Mr. Fred Rogers. He put his shoes on one at a time, just like the rest of us. A guy who dedicated his entire existence, his whole life, into putting good vibes into the world. It's a very unusual statue. I've never seen one like that before. The artist who created it wanted to go for something slightly different, and I think he accomplished his goal. Some call this lumpy. I call it unique. When I first approached this area, I thought there were a few people standing under this archway talking, and then I realized that was not the case. They are actually putting audio from his show and his songs underneath this structure all day and all night long. And the closer you get up to it, when you walk directly underneath, the echo, listen.
After a while, the three bears returned from their walk. When they came inside,
He's speaking to us. I can listen to him talk all day. Born in 1928, he passed away on February 27, 2003. Creator, host, writer, composer, and puppeteer. He combined backgrounds in music composition, television production, the ministry, and child development. His show aired for 5 years after his passing. And get that bird poop out of here. Oh, that's gross. I simply tried to wipe away the dung that had desecrated that placard. Now I got it all over my hands. I'm not sure if this muddy water is any cleaner, but yeah, a little bit better. A little bit better. You got me. You happy now? You got me. Wait a second. Are those Pittsburgh petunias? The destination at hand is across that bridge. That's where I'm heading. Whamp, 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 whamp. This thing was erected in 1928. Impressive. Most impressive. I didn't look that up. I read it right here on this inscription. If you look over my shoulder, you will notice not only Pirate Stadium, but an incredible amount of locks that have been placed along the railing. It's a tradition known as the love locks. You and your significant other place your name right on the side of the lock itself, toss the key over into the ravine, and your love will never be unchained. If you can't afford a lock, just take a Sharpie, I guess, and maybe just scribble on there. That works too. Arrived now at the Heinz History Center, and according to this banner, it is the Smithsonian's home here in Pittsburgh. And inside those doors is what I want to feast my eyes upon. There is a lot to see in this museum. In keeping with the theming of the vlog, however, what I am most excited about is on the 4th floor. It was rumored for a while and then later confirmed, and this just seals the deal. Look at that. The neighborhood is straight upstairs. The land of make-believe is in this structure. Whatever you do, don't look down. I am very excited about this. I might honestly get slightly choked up because I grew up watching that show and it's about to happen. It's right over there. But before we enter his neighborhood, there are some artistic renditions of some of the local areas around this neck of the woods. It's kind of a nice segue all along the walls before I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. Just, oh my gosh, look at this. Look what's over here. Oh my gosh, this is actually happening. Now, while it might not be completely appropriate for a grown man to cry, please don't hold it against me if that happens, because what I am now looking at is the actual set from the show. This is where he walked out of every episode, through that door, walked down those stairs, sat on this exact bench, changed his shoes. This is the closet here where he always took out his sweater. Oh my goodness, this is blowing my mind right now. And there's the Smiles booklet as he is seen holding in that episode there. And Mr. McFeely's bike, it's right there. As well as X the Owl's printing press and Harriet E. Cow's desk and the trolley. Wow. The little lion suit on the left was Prince Tuesday's The Puppet. That was in the episode. It's incredible. King Friday the 8th's castle looks exactly as it did so very long ago. There's the man himself up on the ledge. I can't even wrap my head around what is happening right now. He had a love for puppetry, and he did a lot of the voices on the show. These characters were all developed by him, and he had his hands up in those little sock puppets, doing the voices, making people happy. This is the great oak tree that X the Owl and Henrietta Pussycat lived in. And you can even see where they would peek their heads out. Oh man, it is really a blessing that this stuff still exists and anyone can come look at it. It's also pretty neat to get this up close and personal with the props. The tree is made out of paper mache, and while it is still in really good shape, you can see some of the bark is starting to slowly chip away, showing what lies underneath. It's good that it's inside and being preserved so other people can enjoy it for many, many years to come. When it comes to the world of celebrities, you would be hard-pressed to find a purer soul anywhere than that man. In fact, a lot of people have a dark past, and a lot of people draw a lot of criticism, hate from other people. That's a rarity when it comes to Mr. Rogers. Everyone liked that guy. Seriously, everyone. I was talking to one of the gentlemen who work here. He was saying they actually have some other stuff in storage. You wouldn't tell me what was there, but there's some other props behind the scenes. Maybe they'll release more at some point. Hopefully. Crossing my fingers. And if you're feeling so inclined, you can bathe with him. That's soap right there. And they have a lot of other accessories that you can purchase here in the gift shop, including, if you're gonna freshen your breath, why not do it with some encouragements? It's hard to even put into words on how incredible that was. And it doesn't really translate to video very well because I spent 2 or 3 hours just standing there, not filming. Even out of everything that I showed, I just stood there and soaked it all in, which I don't always do at every spot I go to. But in this case, I made an exception. You just have to, something like that, you have to enjoy the moment as well as film it. Document it in your mind as well as on camera. Down this alley is a picture on the wall expressing that we need to help Bobo escape from Mr. Death. Crossing back over the bridge again because there's something on this side of the river that has a few more artifacts that I need to check out. This was the admission ticket sticker from the first place I visited. I wonder if I'll get another sticker from the next spot. I'm about to go inside here, but check out what's in front of it. Doesn't that remind you of the space pod from the 80s movie, The Explorers? Kind of. And inside here they have a multitude of pictures along the walls and a little dining area. And I'm gonna sit next to Fred Rogers and enjoy my roast beef sandwich. And 2 micro Mountain Dews. Normally you don't see 12 ounces in a bottle. That's usually a can type of thing. And according to this map, anything that has a sweater is a Rogers item. There's only a couple things throughout all the 3 or 4 floors, but I'm gonna hunt them down. So good. The first item I come to is just up from the lobby, and it is one of the actual sweaters that he wore a multitude of times on the show. And a fun fact about these sweaters, his mother was the one who actually knitted each and every one of them. That is incredible. That is his actual sweater right there. When you walk across these lights, they start to swing back and forth as exampled in the mirror that I am pointing the camera at. See how they are swaying to and fro directly behind me? Put ball here, watch what happens, okay? It's now inserting itself into the wheel, heading upward. I think I know what's gonna happen. I think when it reaches the top, it's going to go into that chute. Wait for it, wait for it. There it goes. This reminds me of something out of Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And there it drops. Boom. Whoop. Oh. Check that out. That was cool. And I was completely not expecting this, but they have Ursel the Chanter from The Dark Crystal, the Jim Henson classic. I love that movie. This is a prop, screen used, one of the big, huge puppets. What the heck? This actually exists as well behind that piece of glass. I'm looking deep into the mystic's eyes. I never thought I'd be able to say that. I never thought I'd look into a mystic from the Dark Crystal's retinas this close. Get your motor running, head out on the highway. I'm riding this motorcycle, so stay out of my way. Here are a pair of his sneakers that he would change into on the show. I don't see a marking on what size they are, but I'm guessing probably 11, 11 and a half, 12 perhaps. This collection of pictures were all taken by a photographer by the name of Lynn Johnson, and they show some candid views of his personal life as well as some behind the scenes on the show itself. Up the stairs to the next floor sits the final exhibit on this property, and it is a doozy right over there. I had at first given some thought about not even stopping by this particular museum, but I am certainly glad that I did, because these items are absolutely incredible pieces of television history, just sitting here behind these plastic cases. Wow, oh my gosh, look at this. there he is, X the owl, tattered and torn. A North American hand puppet made of plastic, wood, paint, and felt. Who knew that those particular products could create so many emotions in the hearts of children's, now adults, all over the world? Got a little tongue-tied in there, gotta be honest. Emotions were running deep as I saw things that I remember from my childhood that had an impact on my life that kind of helped mold your morals when you see them decades later directly in front of you, so close in fact that you could reach out and almost touch them. Mr. Rogers had a huge impact, still does, not only on my personal life, but also the way I present entertainment. Now, what I am putting out into the world is not necessarily geared towards children, but you can keep things at a relatively clean type of presentation, and I've always followed that, and I've always used him as an example. In a small way, I try to channel. I think we should all try to channel a little bit of Fred Rogers when it comes to that aspect. Many times people have asked me, why don't you curse? Why don't you use a lot of profanity in your vlogs? I am an adult. You know, I like adult-oriented movies and things, and the occasional curse word will slip out of my mind or slip into my mouth and my dialect in my personal life, as much as I try not to. But I keep these vlogs, I keep these videos clean, and the reason for that is when someone is heavily offended by profanity and cursing, they are always going to be offended by it. However, and I've said this in the past and I'm going to reiterate it now because it totally ties into this, even the most drunkard, beer-swilling, sailor, pirate, hooligans, gnarly, tattooed, bearded, overweight biker in the world loves Mr. Rogers. Who doesn't? And his content speaks for itself. So I try to model myself after that. I probably fail in a lot of ways, but Mr. Rogers, this vlog goes out to you. Vlog over.